My dog is a genius. I asked him, what's 2 minus 2? He said nothing. Today, I'm going to recap a 2009 action drama film called Merantau. In accordance with time-honored customs, every male child is destined to part ways with his kin in pursuit of a journey of self-discovery and experience. This rite of passage, a trial towards becoming a man, is known as Merantau. A boy named Yuda readies himself through training for this Merantau before returning home for his final meal with his family. This Last Supper is filled with unspoken farewells. In the dead of night, Yuda's mother pleads with him to reconsider his impending departure, but he remains resolute. She is left with no option but to wish him a safe journey. Under the cover of darkness, Yuda engages in a final duel with his teacher, demonstrating a wide range of techniques. The teacher, recognizing the power within Yuda, halts the match, assuring him of his readiness. As dawn breaks, his mother accompanies him part of the way, passing on to him an item that once belonged to his father. Tears streaming down her face, she expresses her immense pride in her son. Yuda departs with nothing but the open road in front of him. Aboard a bus, Yuda captures the attention of a fellow traveler. As nightfall descends, the man joins Yuda, lighting a cigarette and sharing tales of life in Jakarta. He sees a reflection of his younger self in Yuda and warns that mastery of the tiger silat technique alone may not be sufficient to navigate the complexities of Jakarta. He advises Yuda to seek out a different way of life, emphasizing that reality diverges significantly from the teachings of their youth. The man's intention is to protect Yuda from repeating his own past mistakes. Upon reaching Jakarta, they part ways. Yuda seeks out the address he has been given, only to find the house in ruins. All the phone numbers he has are disconnected. With nowhere to go and no one to turn to, Yuda feels insignificant in the sprawling city, struggling to understand its mechanisms. Observing workers exiting a nearby construction site, Yuda slips inside and seeks refuge in a hollow concrete pipe, where he spends the night. The following afternoon, he stops at a cafe, where he receives a warm welcome from a man and places an order. They engage in a light-hearted chat, while a small boy attempts to pilfer Yuda's meal. Distracted and about to settle his bill, Yuda realizes that his wallet has been swiped by the young boy. In hot pursuit, Yuda captures the boy, only to see the boy's sister accosted by an irate man who takes all her earnings. Intervening, Yuda forces the man to return the girl's money. The man threatens Yuda, telling him he's crossed the wrong person, but Yuda ignores his warning, causing the girl to lose her job. In her frustration, the girl berates Yuda, momentarily forgetting her self-respect, which seems to have been entirely eroded by the man's behavior. He returns to the construction site under the cover of darkness, descending the chimney to retrieve his father's cherished medallion. He ponders the harsh realities of this urban world, a stark contrast to his humble village life. Concurrently, girls are being inspected for selection. Johni, an underling, is reprimanded by his boss for bringing 4 girls when he was instructed to bring 5. The missing girl is the sister of the young thief, and Johni is tasked with fetching her, or he'll face severe consequences. Arriving at her friend's place, the girl discovers her friend has already been seized, and Johni is waiting to escort her to his boss. Yuda, feeling homesick, places a call to his mother. She assures him they are fine, and Yuda, not wanting to worry her, falsely claims he is well too. Johnny's car pulls up by a phone booth. He drags the terrified girl from the trunk and brings her to his boss. In defiance, she kicks Johni in the groin, receiving a retaliatory punch that sends her tumbling to the ground. Witnessing this scene, Yuda ends the call with his mother and rushes over to assist her. Johni commands his henchmen to confront Yuda, but Yuda fights back. The overwhelming numbers, however, get the best of him, and he finds himself overpowered. A vicious final blow from Johni leaves Yuda dazed, yet he manages to rise again. With blurred vision and an unsteady gait, he stumbles toward the building to rescue the girl. Yuda regains his senses just in time to see Johni assaulting Astery. Observing the club scene, he spots a man who appears displeased with his presence. A brawl ensues, but Yuda is quick to subdue his opponents, even as reinforcements arrive. Simultaneously, Johni escorts Astery to the boss. The boss, envisioning Astery dancing at his club, berates Johni for striking Astery and leaving a mark on her face. In a dramatic entrance, Yuda breaks into the room and flees with the traumatized girl. Moments later, inside the club, a battered Ratger emerges from the debris, admonishing Johni for his failure and expressing a violent desire for Yuda's demise for disfiguring his face. Meanwhile, a young boy named Adit is spotted begging on the streets. Upon sighting him, Astri and Yuda give chase, but they're too late. Johni's men snatch Adit right before their eyes. Yuda manages to catch up with the kidnapper, but more goons arrive wielding metal rods. Undeterred, Yuda uses their own weapons against them and thwarts their assault. In the aftermath, Yuda brings Astri and Adit to the construction site to take shelter. They reveal that they were abandoned by their parents due to a large family and resource constraints, a reality Astri struggles to comprehend. Yuda reminisces about his elder brother, a constant rival in their childhood games. Despite losing more often due to his younger age, Yuda grew stronger with time, while his brother cultivated intellect. His brother's evolution into the man Yuda aspires to become fills him with a sense of admiration. As the girl eats, Yuda gives her some space, settling down in an adjacent pipe. Ratger, in the grip of blinding rage, is unable to hear his friend's attempts to pacify him. Instead, he shatters a glass over his friend's head. His singular focus, the elimination of Yuda. Johni presents Ratger with henchmen trained to kill Yuda. However, Ratger dismisses them, warning Johni of the same fate if he ever approaches him without substantial reason again. Yuda aids the girl in pilfering hidden money from a house under vigilant surveillance by Johni's crew. Unnoticed, Yuda manages to retrieve the stash under the carpet while one of the men is in the bathroom. His escape, however, is thwarted and his presence discovered. A woman from a nearby balcony signals to Johni's men about the location of Astri and Adit. In a bid to protect her brother, Astri stows Adit away in a secluded spot. His anxiety escalates, terrified of being left alone, as Astri is the only family he has left. Just as Astri leaves him to distract the goons, they strike her on the head, causing her to collapse unconscious in front of the horrified Adit. Simultaneously, Yuda leads his pursuers on a high-stakes chase across rooftops, demonstrating incredible agility and boldness, leaving his assailants trailing below. They swarm him like a horde of cockroaches, heavily armed yet powerless against Yuda's indomitable spirit. A motorcyclist wielding a club joins the pursuit, his strength evidently surpassing Yuda's. However, using a towel, Yuda outmaneuvers and incapacitates the biker. Post-battle, Yuda notices Astri's absence and finds Adit, who relays the sequence of events. Vowing to never leave Adit alone again, Yuda embarks on a rescue mission for Astri. He infiltrates the building housing Johni, subduing everyone within minutes before extracting Astri's whereabouts from Johni. Unbeknownst to Yuda, his actions are playing into a trap set to ensnare him. Undeterred, Yuda's sole focus is saving Astri. He ascends the skyscraper, battling throngs of adversaries, hurling them into walls and shattering glass tables. Anything within his grasp becomes a weapon. Meanwhile, Ratger subjects Astri to his vile tendencies. On learning of Yuda's presence in the building, Ratger chooses to stay put, anticipating Yuda's downfall. Astri spots a deceased girl nearby, filling her with dread. As Yuda calls the elevator, it halts midway. It's Eric, one of Ratger's henchmen, and ironically, the same man Yuda had encountered on the bus at the onset of his journey. Yuda steps into the elevator, standing shoulder to shoulder with the man. A brief verbal exchange quickly escalates into a heated battle within the confines of the elevator. Both Eric and Yuda are formidable fighters, engaging in a swift exchange of blows. However, Yuda proves to be the superior combatant. He spares the defeated Eric, leaving him sprawled on the elevator floor as he ascends to confront the impending challenge awaiting on the top floor. As the elevator doors part, a hailstorm of bullets from the gangster's guns perforate Eric's body, transforming him into a human colander. Yuda's strategic maneuver was successful, marking the end of Eric's convoluted journey. Somehow, Yuda locates Ratger and intercepts his car, leading him to the location where Ratger maintains his stash of captive girls. No longer choosing to lurk in the shadows, Yuda confronts Ratger and his goons. The boss unleashes his minions on Yuda, who expertly fends them off while sustaining his momentum. The relentless influx of adversaries forces Yuda to resort to tactical evasion, climbing onto nearby containers. However, this was merely the precursor. Now he must face Ratger and Luke. The duo launch a coordinated attack, momentarily overpowering Yuda. Despite being on the back foot, Yuda manages to land a few punches. Suddenly, a form of heightened awareness takes hold of him, akin to a meditative trance, where he perceives every movement of his assailants, their breaths, and counterattacks with formidable force, using the duo as human punching bags. In the aftermath, all three men lie on the floor, gasping for breath. In a treacherous move, Luke and Ratger reach for iron clubs. Yuda anticipates this and disarms them. However, they retaliate with unexpected cunning, using a container door to hit him. In the ensuing chaos, Yuda turns the tables, impaling Luke with the door, causing the iron pipe to pierce his body. Witnessing this, Ratger is consumed by frenzied rage. He seizes Yuda, throttling him against the container while the captive girls inside raise an alarm. As Yuda's strength begins to falter, a soft plead from Astery, "Help," sparks a resurgence in him, enabling him to overpower Ratger. Ratger crumbles to the ground, while Yuda liberates the girls from the container. The silent women scatter, leaving behind a tearful yet relieved Astery. Suddenly, a vengeful Ratger reemerges, driving a sharp rod into Yuda. Yuda retaliates, dispatching his adversary, but sustains severe injuries in the process. Resigned to his fate, Yuda lies on the floor, preparing to meet his end in Astery's arms. His final wish to return his father's pendant to his family. Astery implores him to resist surrender, unprepared to lose the brave young man. Yuda requests her to inform his family about his heroic deeds. Astery remains hopeful about Yuda's survival and implores him to refrain from such fatalistic declarations. She is certain she would be warmly received by his family. However, Yuda's life force dwindles and his eyes glaze over, marking the end of a brave and selfless warrior. A hero whose only goal was to save a girl ended up rescuing numerous lives. His Merantau, his journey, is complete. Following Yuda's death, Astri retrieves Adit, who had been in hiding. Overwhelmed with emotion, she breaks down upon seeing the young boy, relieved to have him safe despite the tremendous cost they paid. In the aftermath of the tumultuous events, Astri travels to Yuda's family home, where she is greeted with familial warmth. She assumes domestic duties alongside Yuda's brother, helping with household chores. Adit enrolls in school, his mornings characterized by Yuda's mother seeing him off. The boy turns to regard the woman with a similar gaze as Yuda's last. The woman struggles to contain her emotions as she escorts the boy to school. There is a possibility that the boy may live the life Yuda aspired for himself. However, a peaceful existence was not in the cards for Yuda. His life was plagued with rampant injustice and a harsh reality that was difficult to bear. If you enjoyed this video, don't be shy to hit the like button, and if you disliked it, hit the dislike button twice, just to be sure. It would be best if you watched the whole movie. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe for more videos like this.